Now we are going to learn the cp command, which is used for copying a file. Okay, so at present we are in the subdirectory named economics. So first I will check which are the available files by using ls command. So f1, f2 and f3 are the available files. Now if I want to copy a file named f1, okay, and place it in the same folder, then first I will type cp space f1. In the same folder I cannot have the file with the same name, right? So I will type here 123 for example, or I will give the file name abc. So what will happen, that the file named f1 will be copied and pasted in the same folder, and the name of that folder, that file will be abc. Fine, we'll just check. So here you can see that abc named new file is created. Now this file is the copy of f1 file. Now what if you want to move the file to some other folder, that is directory? Then again cp command is used. For example, if I want to move abc file to some other folder named say subject, okay, so it will create the copy in the folder name subject. So this is the use of copy command. Now another option is move command. Okay, to move a file, when you create run copy command, it creates a copy of the file. But if you want to move the existing file from one place to another, then you have to use move command. So move command is mv command. Okay. Now mv command has got two things. Either it can be used for renaming a file, or it can be used for moving a file, both the things. For example, if I want to move abc file to a folder named subject, then mv abc subject, so that file will get moved. We will check. Here you can see that the file is been moved to the subject folder. Fine. Then renaming a file. Okay, at present we have got the file named f1. If I want to rename it to some other name, okay, then how to do? So mv space the existing file name, that is f1, and then I want to rename it to fff. Fine, so that file will be renamed. I can check with ls command. Now there is no f1 file here, but it got renamed into fff. Fine. Then now we will see some of the options which is used with the options which are used with the cp command are cp space, then slash the name of the folder, then again slash, then the name of the subfolder, slash the name of the subfolder, and slash the name of the file. So this command copies the file science text to the current directory. The dot at the end refers to the current directory. Now what does this statement means? This statement means that a file named science.txt is stored in a subfolder named volume examples and tutorial. From there, just by putting a dot after this file name, it will be transferred to the current directory. Then next is cp chapter 01 programs / unit 1. So a file named chapter 1 is copied within the directory programs, that is progs, with name unit 1 subdirectory. Then next thing is cp chapter 01 programs. Then a file name chapter1 is copied within the directory programs with the same name. This we have already done just now. Then cp --r programs new programs. Then the directory name programs also with all its content is copied and stored as directory new program. CMP means compare. The CMP command compares the two files of any type and writes the result to the standard output device. Now to explain you that thing, I have created two files. The name of the first file is 1 and the name of the second file is 2. Now just check that what is there in file 1. In file 1 it is displaying two lines, learning Ubuntu Linux. Second line, learning CMP command. Two things I have typed here. Okay, I close this file. Now in second file what have I typed? In second file I have not typed here learning Ubuntu Linux. Linux is missing here. While the second line contains the same thing which the first file is containing. Now the CMP file compares both the files and gives us the output. So we will check CMP space then the name of the first file, name of the second file, that is 1 and 2. So it gives this output. 1 of the second file differs. See, this means 1, that is the first line of the file number 2 differs, byte number 16 and line number 1. So like this way it gives the output. But if you want to know exactly what is the difference between the two files, then the another command which is there is diff, difference. Okay, an extension of the CMP command is diff command. The diff command compares two files and displays the content of both the files, indicating where the difference lies. I have forgotten to write the file name. Okay, so like this will be the output. To understand the working of the difference command, we have used this thing diff space 1 space 2. So here it shows that in line 1, okay, of file number 1, the third thing is there, Linux, and in file 2 this Linux is missing, so that you get the exact idea. Now why these all things are there in the course I am not able to understand. We all are working with GUI interface and we don't need to learn all these things. But our textbook authors are great. Why they have written this textbook only God knows. Fine. Now the next command is WC command. The WC command is used to count the number of lines, words and characters in the specified file. For example, if I type here WC space 1, then it gives me this output, that 3, 6, 4, 4. Now if I write here WC2 second file name, then here it displays 2, 5, 37. Now what does this 3, 6, 44 means or 2, 5, 37 means? This means the number of lines. Now when we had opened the file there were only 2 lines, but since I had pressed the enter key and I had gone to the third line, even though I have not typed anything in the third line, but since I had gone to the third line, so it is displaying that in this file there are 3 lines. How many words are there? Then it is displaying 6 words. And how many number of characters are there including white space? Then 44. Here it displays that there are 2 lines, there are 5 words and 37 characters in file 2. So like this way it is. Now another thing, that if you want to count only number of lines in the output, if you don't want the number of words or number of characters, then what to do? So for that purpose you can write like this way, the command WC For example, if you want to count only number of words, then -w space 1, that is the file name. Then it displays that there are 6 words in file 1. If you want to check only the number of characters, then wc -c, that is -c, and name of the file, 44 characters. So like this way is the use of this command. Now to clear the screen, I type the command clear. Then in the earlier section we had seen the options which can be used with ls command. The ls command has several other options also. For example, the following command when executed may result into the output similar to what it will be displayed here. Just see. For example, if I type ls without any option, then it will display me the files and folders lying here in this directory, this specific directory. But if I type here ls-l, then it will display me the output something like this way. Here it is the same, just observe 1, here also 1, but here there is something minus, it is -rw, -r, -r, -1. What does this thing mean? Everywhere that thing is there. So it gives us the clear idea about an object in our file. An object can be categorized as a regular file, a directory, or a process. It shows the owner of the object, size of the object, date and time on which the object was created, along with the name of the object. So I will try to explain you with the first example. The first hyphen is minus, that is type of object. It displays the type of object. The character hyphen in the first column refers to a file. Character D refers to a directory. If it is a directory, here you can see 11th B, 11th standard is a directory, then instead of hyphen it is displaying me D. So the first place here in this thing displays whether it is a file or it is a directory. Then the next 9 characters tells the system what access is permitted for the object. Okay, here it's displaying this thing, that is the next 9 characters tells the system what access is permitted for this object, hence the name is permission. Now here there are 9 objects in which we have to categorize it into 3 objects. The first 3 is the owner's permission, second 3 is the group permission, and third 3 is the other users permission. So like this way it is. The set of the 3 characters after the file name, that is the first 3 characters. Okay, the set of the first the 3 characters after the file name shown in column 2, 3, 4 tells which permission the owner of the file has. Owner of the file is the user who created the file. In our case, I am an administrator, so administrator has created this file. The character R here in the first position means you are permitted to read the file. You can open the file and you can read the file. The W, character W in the second position means you may write in the file. That is, read and write, both the permissions are there. This includes the ability to delete the file. Reading, writing means you are able to delete the file. And if there is X in the third position, see here you can see that there is no hyphen but it is X. And X in the third position means you may execute the file. And if it is hyphen, here it is hyphen. Then hyphen in any position means that you don't have that particular permission. Now, as you can see in the output of the ls-l command, the administrator, the user who owns the file, can read and write the files which are given here, 1, 2, these all things. Now we come to the fifth position of the character, this 5th, 6th and 7th. So the character of the column 5, that is the 5th character to 7, denotes the permission given to the group to which user belongs. Similarly, the characters in column 8, 9, that is these 3 characters, 8, 9 and 10, denotes permission given to any other user or group. Generally, the term other refers to the users of the system that do not belong to the group or which the owner of the file belongs. A user is, if wishes, can change the permission of an object that he or she owns. Now, how to change the permission, that also we will learn just now. The file permission can also be given as a numeric representation. We use octal, that is base is 8 number system, for representing permissions as numeric values. Every octal digit combines read, write and execute permissions together. For example, in permission 644, 6 refers to the rights of the owners, 4 refers to the rights of the group and another 4 refers to the rights of others. The permission 0644, when assigned, it is interpreted as read and write permission to owner. Only read permission to group and others. Table 6.6 in your textbook shows the interpretation of the octal numbers when used as permission. Now the octal number and its permission is given in the textbook in the tabular form. The first column contains the permission text code, then in octal mode and its meaning. The first one is hyphen hyphen hyphen. It means 0. No permission is assigned, either to open, either to do anything else, delete nothing. Hyphen hyphen x means in octal it is represented by 1. Only execute, access is allowed. Hyphen w hyphen 2. Only write access is allowed. Hyphen wx 3. Write and execute access are allowed. R hyphen hyphen 4. Only read access is allowed. Now see, it's very simple to understand this thing. R means read, W means write and X means delete. Now this 3 minus, if you try to understand, the first contains X, second contains Y. Here if you see this, both the permission remains 0 while only execution permission is given. Here both the things remains minus minus, 0 0 permission of this thing reading and execution, only write permission is there. Like this way it is. Here only R, that is reading permission is there, rest two permissions are not. Then next is R hyphen X. 5. Read and execute access are allowed. R W hyphen 6. Read and write access are allowed. R W X 7. Everything is allowed. Now we come to the next topic related to the same thing, that is changing permissions. Now these are the permissions, right? And if you want to make changes in it, how to do that? To change permissions, we use the chmod command. The operation of changing the permission is also known as change mode operation. For instance, in the above example, we have seen that user, that is owner, has read and write permissions on the file. To make the file read only file, the following command is used. So to make the thing read only, you have to do like this way: chmod, name of the command, ugo-w, and then the name of the file. Here the name of the file is introduction.txt. Now here the character U in the above chmod command stands for user, G for group, and O for the others. After executing the command, if we again list the file, then the output will be similar to the one which is shown here: ls-introduction, -l introduction, then -r, 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 -. This is the name of the one administrator, and then this thing. Please note that write operation will not be permitted on this file. Additionally, it also prevents user from deleting the file intentionally or unintentionally. To assign write and execute permission to the owner of a file, execute the following command: chmod, name of the command, u plus wx. Here we had given -r, while here plus wx, script s10. Now this is the name of the file. Now if you give the command ls-l script10.sh, and this will be the output: -rw xr -r-1 administrator, and then this thing, the name of the file. Here the file script 10.sh is known as script file. We are going to learn about the shell scripting in the next chapter. Table 6.7 shows some abbreviatives and its meaning when used with chmod command. U for user operation plus assign permission, R minus read permission, G for group minus remove permission, W write permission, O others is equal to assign absolute permission, X execute permission, A all. Fine. So this topic we complete over here.